Hello, Historical Gamer here. I'm gonna do this intro quickly because I already started. I decided to start encore mode. Sonic's come out the portal, Phantom Ruby. Technically, this takes place after the first zone, but I was enjoying myself, so I'm recording this straight after I did Green Hill. I definitely want to continue this series, whether you guys do or not. But I hope you guys do. I guess I'll just complete Angel Island. Now I'm pretty sure this one isn't much of a zone. And for not much of a zone, well, for not much of a zone, as I said, they done like quite a lot of amount of work. Though I've never been a fan of Angel Island's background. It's green, just green. I like my backgrounds detailed. Like, you know, the rest of them are in this game. You ever realize that people who played Sonic Mega Collection have more nostalgia for the classics at this point than, like, the actual people who first played the classics themselves? At least that's what I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if many people who played Sonic Mega Collection are watching my videos. But if you did, tell me if you do have nostalgia for the classic games. I appreciate it. I guess this is a good time to do the full intro. The Historical Gamer here, and welcome back to another episode of Sonic Mania. Today we're going to be tackling Encore mode. I'm gonna drown. So yeah, Encore mode has like this really cool team up mechanic. Which, personally, yeah, I've already voiced my thoughts on it. I think it's really cool. As for these swings, not so much. But like, you saw that little half-pipe loopy thing? That would have activated like a cool animation of Sonic looking 3D, even though he's not. Sega Genesis for you, obsessed with pretending it was a 3D console. Again, I missed another. I really want to show you one before the end of this level. I reached the end of the level. Act 1, there's an Act 2. So I have to choose between Mighty and Ray. One of them's a fake. They're both a fake, actually. So do I choose like a cool guy or a cool guy? I like them both, as you can probably tell. I don't know. I'm gonna choose Mighty because I feel like Mighty is like a cooler reward. See, whichever one you don't pick is a fake. Where I said Mighty is a cooler reward, I meant Ray is a cooler reward for later in the game. So as you can tell, this is Ray. This is Mighty. He's my team. Sonic has his drop there. The Sonic has got his hat on and he's coming out to play. So if I click for what is the B button, it switches characters. Okay. Sure then. What button do I click? Ah. Okay, it's when I click Y. So like, Mighty has this ground pound thing, which breaks out in balls like that one. Oh, and Sonic has the drop dash. As much as I'd like to show you his ability, I also want to be a gamer. Or maybe that was meant to be a showcase for Ray's ability. Like again, Mighty's is more obvious. Ray is like, I guess, less of a beginner character. I can't make that, so let's do some ground pounding. Oh my god. Oh yeah, he can take a hit from Spike, that's hard shell. I know there's like capsules which lets you switch between the characters, but also like We've only ever seen Heavy Magician so far. I scrapped that. Also, I love how they use Tiny Sonic for the loading screens. I just don't know why they have loading screens. I'm doing Green Hill. I'm doing Green Hill, I'm sorry. I like this stage. I like the reverse color palette. I like it. Then I'm gonna have to convince myself to stop playing Sonic Mania after that. Should I stop ground pounding things? I want to ground pound everything. This is a Sonic job. Boom. I hereby unlock another character. I unlock Tails. Nice. I can't switch to him right now, but if I find a certain capsule, I can. Ah. Okay. Personally, I'm liking this game. It's Tails and Mighty. I had actually only played as Sonic in this game before this, so, you know, I think that's cool. Fire shield, nice. Time to burn bridges. And, like, get chucked down because of it. I feel like this area is tailor-made for Tails. Unfortunately, at the end of the recording session you just saw, I got cut off. And while I did record voiceover for this next recording session, I lost it. So what I'm thinking is to give you a quick mini video while you watch the footage so you still know what I've done. My first one will be my picks for zones for Sonic Mania 2 and my reasons why. Now, if you've been keeping up with a lot of big Sonic tubers lately, then you've probably heard this whole thing before, but I will try and make my list as unique as possible. But I'm going to state that it might not exactly be realistic, not in the slightest. Now, there's going to be 2 original zones in this list, 9 brought back, and 1 that is half brought back and half new. I'm going to be pulling zones for the brought back from Sonic 1, Sonic 2, Sonic 3K, Sonic 3 and Knuckles, which that is short for, Sonic CD, the original zones in Sonic Mania, the zones in Sonic Forces that classic Sonic went to, so nothing like the Big White City there, and Sonic Superstars. Now, the first zone, I want to be a new zone. I'm bored of Green Hill Zone. Emerald Hill Zone is overdone in fan games and scratch games. Angel Island has already been done in Mania. And to be honest, I really don't want to spoil the magic of Palm Tree Panic. So, I would like an original zone. Even though Bridge Island could be a good candidate, I still just think an original zone for the first level would be better. Now, I really want to lean into that theme Sonic 1 was going for of going from really natural places to extremely mechanical and industrial places. Which is why my next zone is Marble Garden Zone from Sonic 3. Except, it's not just Marble Garden Zone, it's Marble Zone combined with Marble Garden Zone. You may be thinking that's a very bad idea, especially for the second zone, but I really think it gives both these zones a chance for redemption. And I also think Marble Garden, at least in my opinion, isn't really half bad, so by combining some of Marble Zone's better elements with Marble Garden Zone and giving it the Mania coat of paint, then I really think it would do well.
Next, I'd like to do Hilltop Zone from Sonic 2. I think this because it has a lot of potential. I like the dinosaur enemies. I think the set piece with the rising lava and the earthquake in Act 1 were both amazing. It has a lot of potential and almost feels like a classic Sonic version of the Sonic Unleashed design philosophy. It's also my favourite zone in Sonic 2, so I think it'd make a very good candidate. Mostly just because I like it though. Now, I really feel like some of you may not agree with this pick, but I'd like to take a page out of King K's book, and also Christian Whitehead and Stout's book. And you know how they had Hidden Palace Zone as a secret zone you can access from Mystic Cave? Well, I'd like to do the same, except you access the secret zone from Hilltop. And that zone is kinda, in my opinion, a farewell to all of the previous first zones. It'd be kind of a remix, amalgamation, cyberspace, aesthetic, which kind of combines Green Hill, Emerald Hill, and transitions into Emerald Hill, transitioning into Palm Tree Panic, then again transitioning into Angel Islands, then finally transitioning into Bridge Island. Then I'd like to go for Quartz Quadrant from Sonic CD. I think it's a very colourful zone and serves as a good buffer between the natural locations and the more mechanical locations. It's got a lot of unique gimmicks, such as the conveyor belts, which you can even use as an elevator, and a generally good aesthetic combining a lot of mechanical things with a very colourful cave. And just like Mania 1 did, we could have Act 1 and 2 take place in different versions of the stage. But I'm just thinking, maybe so you can cover all versions of the stage, halfway through the level there can be some kind of transition between, again, the different versions of the stage from a different point. Like, you could start in the past, then go to the present. Then, the Act 2, you could take a look at both the good future and the bad future. So, yeah, I really think that Quartz Quadrant would be good. Next would be Spring Yard Zone. Just like Hilltop Zone is my favourite in Sonic 2, Spring Yard Zone is my favourite zone in Sonic 1. And while I feel it could be reimagined very well, I also think it might lose some of its magic if it's reimagined, because it kind of laid the groundwork for pinball stages, except none of the other pinball stages really hit the same notes that Spring Yard Zone does. So, while I think it could be reimagined well, I think the likelihood of it being reimagined well is very slim. It's also very similar to Quartz Quadrant in its purplish colour scheme. Also, the music track, if that got redone by T-Lopes, then I'm not even sure what to say. That'd be an amazing track. Now, for the second and last secret zone, Golden Capital. Golden Capital will serve as this game's Mirage Saloon, because it's an amazing reference to the content in Sonic 1, and has some pretty good ideas. Though, due to Sonic Superstars' general design, I've heard that it's quite annoying. So I really think with a Mania coat of paint, it could be fixed, and seeing it in a pixel art style would be quite interesting. Now, for a pick from Sonic Mania's original zones. I understand this may seem a little generic, but Studiopolis Zone. If they really can recapture that magic, which I believe they can, then this would honestly just be the best zone in the game. There's just something about Studiopolis, which, from what I've watched, hit like such an amazing balance of creativity, platforming, level design. The gimmicks are amazing, it's brimming with life, but at the same time, it's not brimming with life, it's very mechanical. Also, the bright colours was quite the change from the more muted colours of zones like Springyard. Next, Cyber Station Zone. Cyber Station Zone, with its kind of voxel-like aesthetic, really works for me. I just think it really works, and it works even better coming after Studiopolis. I think it could have some probably better minigames, like for example, it's a good place to implement Puyo Puyo and other like classic arcade style games. And it wasn't very fleshed out in Sonic Superstars, having only one act and having everything have the need for multiplayer. So, with the Sonic Mania coat of paint, it will work amazingly. Now, I also think Cyber Station Zone works as a good transition to our next zone, that being from Sonic Forces actually, being the Eggman Empire Fortress. This really works as a second to last zone, being the literal heart of the Eggman Empire. And Sonic Forces, it's well known now that it wasn't very good. So, Sonic Mania could absolutely fix it for classic Sonic. And maybe not be an auto-scroller at the end. It's a novel idea, but also this is Sonic the Hedgehog. Yeah, I'd really like to see a dark and menacing zone like that. Then I want the last zone to be original. But I was thinking it could have an almost psychedelic aesthetic. Like kind of crazy colours all over the place. A bit like the Sonic 1 special stage backgrounds. So yeah, that's my ideas for the zones for Sonic Mania 2. If you thought well of this, then you'll definitely think well of what else I have in store. I will put in a link in the description for this video to all of the zones I picked and video of them. This was the Historical Gamer. Remember to like, and if you like multiple of my videos, subscribe. Also share, it really helps. And I'd love you to comment on how I could make these videos better. Thank you for watching to the end of the video. And now, goodbye.